Hi, today we're going to be talking about Spider-Man, specifically the 1970s live-action TV show starring Nicholas Hammond. From humble beginnings, a comic sci-fi fantasy-loving boy was raised by a hard-working single mom who weaned him on classic film. I was that boy, and I learned early on the power of the cinema. From Alfred Hitchcock to Richard Donner, my mentors were many, and their contributions to my worldview have been nothing short of superlative. Film gives us an undeniable window into our past, an introspective look at our present, and an indelible vision of our future. Come with me as I look at entertainment from special places and times in different formats to help discover things about some of the greatest treasures we've either never seen before or will never look at the same way again. I'm Tye Justis. Let's review. The Spider-Man TV pilot movie ran in 1977 and was a hit for CBS, although the rest of the series floundered quickly, with only 13 episodes produced. Now, the effects weren't great. It seemed like a low-budget show. There were no comic book villains introduced, but it was fun, and the actors are really good. If you watch the episodes, they're fun to watch. They're enjoyable. They're a little slow, especially the pilot episode. And when you look at other pilots from Marvel at the time, let's say The Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk was interesting. It was well written. Spider-Man was slow going, and it took a while to catch up. They changed a few things. It was good, but it just wasn't great. And even though it's fun to watch now, you can see why it didn't do very well back in the late 70s. Especially with Superman coming out. They had a lot to live up to. Still wasn't as bad as Shazam, though. Just throwing it out there. The wonderful stuntman on this show was Fred Wong. He did a lot of the wonderful stunts and some of the great shots of Spider-Man in the costume from this series are actually him in the suit standing around New York. And I'll pull up an image in a bit of him in front of the Twin Towers, which is very interesting. They had only been up for a few years by then. But this show had a lot of heart. Even though it didn't really capture the comics, I think like everyone thought, it was an earnest effort for Spidey's first outing. The Amazing Spider-Man from 1977 was a pretty interesting show. Let me show you why. Cue the 70s porno music. Spider-Man's red and blue costume is iconic. No matter how old you were when you first met the amiable webhead, his self-doubt and internal monologues made him an instantly approachable and relatable hero. This is undoubtedly why the character's seen so many beloved incarnations, both animated and in live action. Whichever version you love or loathe, cartoon or film, one thing is certain: Spider-Man is an icon. But the one version that's barely remembered is one of his most important, his first foray into the third dimension, the Amazing Spider-Man live-action TV show from the late 1970s. The series kicked off on CBS in the autumn of 1977 as a 94-minute movie, followed by 13 episodes airing irregularly throughout 1977, 78, and 79. Though a rating success for CBS, The Amazing Spider-Man was very expensive to produce and was canceled in 1979 after failing to perform well with older audiences. The first season was produced by Daniel Goodman. Child actor Nicholas Hammond was cast as Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Hammond, already a veteran of film, appearing in both Lord of the Flies and The Sound of Music, was an inspired choice for the wall crawler in his first outing in live action aside from the short segments on PBS's The Electric Company. The death-defying stunts of the show were performed mainly by stunt coordinator Fred Waugh. The cast changed from sporadically aired episode to episode. The main cast for the most part of the series were Nicholas Hammond as Spider-Man Peter Parker, Robert F. Simon as J. Jonah Jameson, Chip Fields as Rita Conway, and Ellen Bry as Julie Masters, a love interest for Peter Parker. Given at times powerful promotion, CBS was much too cautious with this series, producing too few episodes with too few comic book elements too far apart. And so the show was finally canceled after 2 years and only some 13 episodes produced, plus the pilot. This show is not on DVD and was last seen on edited VHS tapes and Laserdiscs. Some of the special guest stars to appear with everyone's favorite neighborhood Spider-Man were David White, memorable character actor Jeffrey Lewis, father of Juliette Lewis, actor George Chuang, veteran actor Robert Alda, father of Alan Alda, Morgan Fairchild, and friend Barbara Luna, to name a few. You might remember Barbara Luna from her famous episode of Star Trek the Original Series entitled Mirror, Mirror. And no, this is not the Spider-Man TV show that was made in Japan around the same time. Let's take a little look at that. Okay then. Spider-Man was a Power Ranger. Wow. That was just, check that out. It's a big gun. That's a big gun for Spider-Man. He just found out who killed his cousin. I love the show. The effects were fun, and I think it deserves an official release on DVD and maybe Blu-ray. With special features and interviews, definitely with Nick Hammond, and as many of the cast members as they can get. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Tye Justis. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.